Casinos continue booming in South Mississippi. The latest revenues released from the State Gaming Commission show more than $1.5 billion was spent in Coast casinos in 2025.
And joining us now to talk about what could be ahead for the casino industry, big expansions for his properties, the president of Hollywood and Boomtown Casinos, Barry Regula. And Barry, thank you so much for being here, because just having 2 casinos under your stead there, you're a pretty busy guy, so thank you so much. That's a lot to deal with, but you get in the weeds of what's happening, and when you see that number, 1.5 billion, that's always a good sign when those numbers are up.
It's a great sign. The Mississippi Gulf Coast is a real success story in the gaming industry. And I think one of the things that really makes it work is you've got some really good operators here. You've got operators like you've got MGM, you've got Caesars, you've got Boyd, you've got people with big loyalty programs. So they have a lot of people in their database that come to the Gulf Coast. And that's what helps keep those numbers up there year after year.
Yeah, and you have to stay ahead of the game because there is so much competition here on the coast, and Boomtown and Hollywood have expansions, improvements on the way. What is the biggest key to stay ahead of the game, so to speak?
Well, you got to give people what they're looking for. I think also it's about what can the property be and what does it need to be. So we look at Boomtown. It's a great locals joint. It's always been a favorite with the locals. They love coming to eat. And that's what we've done there. We brought back the buffet better than ever, and we brought back the bakery better than ever. And I'm the guy who walked around and said, we're never bringing back the buffet.
Really?
I was like H.W. Bush back in the day, read my lips.
Right.
Because it had gone to seed. It really was a dilapidated situation there. But once we started tearing everything out and looking at it, we said, hey, we can do something good here.
Yeah, that was a big deal back in the day when Boomtown first opened, especially you could go just about any time of the day. You could go at night. We would work the late shift and go check it out. So it's great to have that. It's kind of a lanyard nostalgia thing too, and the bakery, bringing that in. Over at Hollywood too, expansion there. Of course, you got the Bridges Golf Course, but you also have other amenities there too.
That's right. And so at Bay St. Louis, it's all about being a resort destination. So that's what that property can be. We have the RV park, we've got the golf course. Now we have the marina, we have the Holly Deck on the marina. We brought in the Gurkha Cigar Lounge, the Palisades Cocktail Lounge, the Azalea Spa and Salon. So we've been adding and adding and adding. We're halfway through a hotel renovation. We got about 6 floors done. Hopefully we'll get that finished up in 2026. And it's all about making this casting a wider net, more people coming from more places in the regional destination zone and coming to Hollywood.
Right, and also, so we're watching the sports betting and the possibility of legalization of mobile sports betting in Mississippi. It's come up in the legislature the last few years, passed in the House, has not come through the Senate. So that's talked about once again. As far as what you do for sports betting, how would that change if it was legalized, a mobile sports bet?
I think it's just another option for people to make their sports bets, because they don't have to be physically in the building. They can, everyone will have an app that ties to the platform that the operator is offering. And right now, over the last several years, being over in Hancock County, adjacent to Louisiana, we saw a drop off in in-person betting once legalized mobile betting happened in Louisiana. So we're hoping that if mobile sports betting comes back online, some of those same customers will choose to use our platform and come on over into Mississippi from Louisiana, place their bets with us. So they could do it mobily on the way in or whatever, but that's kind of one of the advantages of mobile.
One of the things, speaking of being mobile and folks coming over, with the Amtrak Mardi Gras line happening now, makes a stop there in Bay St. Louis. Has that helped there? Has that helped in Biloxi? What have you seen with that so far? Yeah,
I think the numbers out of Amtrak are pretty strong. I think the visitation and ridership has been good. It's yet another way to be here. We're seeing riders coming into Bay St. Louis, and we've been offering a free Uber ride for passengers who don't have a way to get to Hollywood. It's right there on the sign when you get off the train. Hit it with your QR code and come on over. So we're excited about it. I think there's a lot more that can be done, and I think we're going to see people. let's say you want to go to New Orleans, but you don't want to be in the middle of all the mayhem of New Orleans. Come stay in Bay St. Louis, take the train for a day trip, come on back. I think it's a really good option for people.
We always hear about the possibility of new casinos coming into the market. There's 2 possibilities in Biloxi, Long Beach, other places. Would the market support additional properties, do you think? Is there enough of demand?
Well, you've seen it in other markets where there's usually some turnover if new properties come in and they're much more highly developed. It may be as big of a problem for staffing the facilities as it is handling, spreading out the demand. So that would be remaining to be seen.
And one last thing there, what do you see on that kind of off of Hugh's question, the future there? You were talking about some of the tax things as far as jackpots and things like that. That's going to be something maybe casino goers might think about, I suppose, right? Or does that affect them?
Well, so since the big beautiful bill, if midnight on New Year's Eve going forward, people enjoying a casino will have noticed that their machine does not lock up at a $1,200 jackpot anymore. The new number is $2,000. So the implication there is you're not having a taxable event at $1,200 anymore. It's $2,000, and it's not a lot of money, but 3% state tax came out mandatory at $1,200. And now it's mandatory at $2,000. That's $24 more in your pocket.
Yeah, and how significant is that $800 difference as far as what's reportable?
Well, one of the biggest significance is that there's half as many taxable events going on in the casinos. So you're playing on, as you will. So staff has to interact less often with you to handle that transaction. So there's some significance in it. We'll see. We're just in the early innings of this, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Of course, you got to win, but hey, if you do, you're in. So
hey, it's great though. But like if you used to hit 5 dragons on your Dragon Link machine and for $1,500, somebody used to have to come by and pay that. So you were sitting around waiting. So now that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay. Good insight into the casino industry from Boomtown and Hollywood. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks,
so
guys.
much,
Appreciate
Barry.
it.
Appreciate it.